Daniel Weiser, he is on your right. Abe Schnake is on your left. Green-Black Delirium, Teamer Aetherworks. Here we go. Confirm last name in a second, please. For Schnake, he will just play a Hissing Quagmire. Pass the turn back over to Weiser. He started off with a blue-red fast land. It's the Spire Buff Canal. Now there's an Aether Hub. 1 energy. Keep count. 3 energy. Glass Blower's Puzzle Knot. Abe, you don't know what that does? Come on, man. Yeah, I don't. No one knows what that does.
Well, this card's gotten, a lot of speculative praise in this kind of shell.
When there's the battlefield, you get to scry 2, and then you get to get 2 energy. So he's up to 3. 3 to go.
A very cheap and efficient source of energy, if that's what you're in the market for, and also scrying. Very helpful in a deck that's about finding a couple key pieces.
Schnake with a Swamp. Here's a Copter. It's a good start. We know how good the Copter is as we head back over to Daniel. There's land number 3. Looks to be a Game Trail. Reveal a land. Pass the turn back over to Schnake. Schnake will draw. Both these players in top 8 contention, they have to go win-win to be able to make it. So this is step 1 of 2.
Matchup I imagine is pretty solid here for Weiser, as the Green-Black Delirium deck's not very heavy on pressure or disruption.
Narwood Dryad looking to get in the car. Weiser might have a response here. That's fine. Attack step. Here comes the Copter. Trigger. That'll resolve. Time to draw and discard. Grasp of Darkness down. Not particularly good in this matchup.
And I'm guessing here that Weiser would rather use the Harness Lightning in hand to just generate more energy rather than use it to maintain the Smuggler's Copter. I don't think he cares a whole lot about that.
Grim Flare. Here is, oh boy, Kozilek's return. See ya.
Okay, and that's the other way to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Weiser will draw. Picked up a copy of Emrakul. That's kind of the downside. As here's Aetherworks Marvel. Let's take a look at the namesake artifact, shall we? I can tell you that it's legendary. I know that it costs 4, and it takes 6 energy to activate. Whenever a permanent you control, however, is put into a graveyard, you get an energy. And the thing about this card is you actually can activate this multiple times. It will surprise you.
Well, he's already good to go on the first activation because with the Glass Blower's Puzzle Knot, he gets 2 energy on the sacrifice and then also gets 1 for the Aetherworks Marvel trigger. So he's already good to go next turn.
Advocate after the Copter attack. You saw Grimflayer come before all of that. And now we head back over to Daniel. Looks like he's going to do this, I believe, on the upkeep.
Yeah, if he finds one of his big ones, he wants to set that 2 from the top.
So upkeep, he sacrifices the Glass Blower's Puzzle Knot. All the Puzzle Knots have really weird names, so I always have to look. The Glass Blower's Puzzle Knot. Scrying is done. There is the hub. Energy number 7. Spin the wheel. Down to 1 energy. But more importantly, taking a look at the top couple of cards. Ding.
Hooray!
It's Ulamog. Remember, this is casting of the card.
Oh, you get the triggers.
Oh, so yeah, you get the
You get it all. You get
look, you get Kozilek's return
You
too.
get the whole thing.
Nice. This is fun. Go ahead, I guess.
Ooh, Sylvan Advocate. Might be tough to get up to 6 lands, though, I suspect.
All right, get to the chopper. That is no longer alive. Harness Lightning. This is called having it all.
Yep.
That's
all of it. That's every last of it.
That's literally all of it here. Daniel Weiser going to win game number 1 here over Abe Schnake. Teamer Aetherworks dominant in that game. Very quickly up a game over Green-Black Delirium. Jeez. To the sideboards, 4 Transgress the Mind, 4 Deadweight, 2 Ruinous Path, 2 To the Slaughter, 2 Vital Force, 1 Distended Mindbender. I guess Transgress, because it's a good way to hit the Marvel.
The Descendant Mindbender and the 4 Transgress the Minds are solid in this matchup. It's some amount of disruption. He's got all sorts of creature removal he can easily cut. So those are coming in.
Other side of things here for Daniel. 3 Dispel, 3 Invasive Surgery, 4 Negate, 3 Takedown, 1 Kozilek's Return, 1 Harness Lightning.
Wouldn't surprise me. So the Harness Lightning can pretty easily come in. A lot of creatures, obviously, in Schnake's deck that it can kill. Another source of energy. I imagine he wants some amount of the negate invasive surgery stuff to protect himself from sorceries that could be coming out of Schnake's deck, whether it's discards or last hopes or so forth. So a little bit that'll be coming in, but I don't think a whole lot of the counter spells.
Might want to just submit kind of same 60.
I think
pretty close.
I think some counter spells are fine here. I wouldn't want to go too much into that, but if you respect Schnake's sideboard, it's got to be spells and not creatures. So a little bit of the negate action makes sense to me.
All right, fair enough. Those are the options there for both players. So, while they do get ready for game number 2, going to be tough to top that first game. As Daniel, that was a beatdown. Let's talk about our YouTube page real quick here, where you can go back and watch the replay of that game and a whole bunch more.
Yeah, you can subscribe today over at youtube.com/StarCityGames. A lot of content up on the YouTube page. Versus Series Archives, Commander versus Archives, Magic Online, playtesting, Best of SCG Live, and much more. Again, subscribe today over at youtube.com/StarCityGames for free and get notified when new content is uploaded to the page.
Also, do want to mention the brand new show that we do have over on our YouTube page. You've seen it on our Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Jeremy Knoll of the Commander Versus series is now doing a little show called Split Second, daily news update about what's going on in Magic. So be sure to check that out Monday through Friday over on our YouTube page as well. Maybe we'll even talk about this little deck, huh?
Maybe.
I'm kind of liking what I saw there from Daniel.
Well, that looked good.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. There's obviously the downside of when you do draw the larger creatures. I think it's pretty tough to cast them in a normalized game.
No, let me check the lands here. 12, 14, 22. And there are some graveyard synergies. So I guess Emrakul isn't totally off the table. You have some artifacts. You have enchantments. Some other stuff can go to the graveyard as well. But yeah, I mean, you have some dead draws. But you also have a lot of nonsense in your deck anyway. You're just trying to do the one thing. So
there's some good, there's some bad.
Daniel Weiser drew an Ulamog, and that kind of stunk until he just Aetherworks marveled into an Ulamog and killed his opponent.
Yes, that all happened.
You don't really care too much about having a dead card in your hand at that point.
That's true. That's really true. For the Green-Black Delirium deck, I think this is a very difficult matchup for Abe. I just don't think he has very much interaction.
No interaction, no pressure, or very little of either of those things at least. And you know, we saw that game. He even came out of the gates relatively fast as far as this deck is concerned, and still just nowhere near enough pressure. I think Transgress the Mind is a big help, though.
Well, you're just looking for any kind of interaction you can find, right?
I mean, I think if it had transgressed that game in a clock, that probably would have been good enough, because Weiser's hand really wasn't anything other than the Aetherworks Marvel.
Yep. I think I can agree with that. Didn't have it, obviously, in the sideboard, so we'll see if he's able to draw one or two of them here in the sideboarded games, as these players will present their decks, and we'll watch some action here in just a moment. Remember, only 2 rounds left here before we make a cut to elimination rounds, and when we do that, you will be able to choose the quarterfinals, so long as you are a subscriber to the feature match area here on SCG Live. Now, we do hope that you guys are enjoying the chat as well, as it is wide open, beginning with the Kaladesh release. So figured big event like this. I know a lot of people want to talk about the brand new set, all the new cards, all the cool things that we're watching here over 15 rounds. You get the opportunity to do that now. All we ask, however, of course, is that you just keep it civil.
Keep it clean.
That's right.
There's moderators.
Or Patrick will get in there. You don't want that.
I won't. I'm above that. We have other regulators.
I think people would like to see you moderate.
Yeah.
For like an hour.
Everyone is muted.
Looks like Abe is going to go down to 6.
What was that? You had a thought you wanted to share? Mute.
Bad joke, banned. Good joke, banned. Joke-free zone.
Yep. Weak emoticon game, banned. All caps, banned.
All caps definitely banned. No question.
One or more exclamation points, banned.
Banned. We have new moderation rules. I'll be sure to get this over to our moderators. You can write the rules.
Comma when you should have used a semicolon, banned.
Does anyone know how to use a semicolon right?
I do.
No way.
I use semicolons in texts.
All right.
Very frequently.
In text messages?
Yes.
You are a maniac. What? So that means you don't do any of the U's instead of YOU?
No, I don't.
There's no way you don't do any of that.
No, I do not. No.
True or false? The semicolon is the least used button in a text message.
I definitely use more semicolons than exclamation marks.
Wow. Okay. Like, just overall, for people who are sending texts around the world,
Oh.
the semicolon is the least used keyboard button. Gotta be true.
Good chance.
Gotta be
I have
true.
to think about it some.
The fact that you would use a semicolon in your text messages. You would. Don't take that
I know that
personal.
you meant that as a beat, but the answer, that's just true.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
That's just the thing you would definitely do. A tune with Aether, 2 energy, and a land on the way. Great fit for this deck. Here comes the Dryad, chugging along for 1. There's a Vessel of Nascency, and I hope there's... Oh, never mind. Excuse me. Traverse. Pardon me. They do look a little similar. There's a Swamp. So both players searching lands out of their decks. What's the and symbol?
The ampersand?
Yeah, use that.
No.
Okay. Now I'm just really curious about the text that you're sending and how they are.
If you go back and just look back at the text I've sent you, there are definitely semicolons in
No
them.
way there's a semicolon. I would have called you out of that. Spire Bluff Canal. Here is a Glassblower's Puzzle on up to 4 energy. Scry 2. Both to the bottom.
You have at various points edited the website, and you would call me out for using a semicolon in a text.
Yeah. I edited the website for 3 years. Semicolon free. Just make them rewrite their sentence. here's a grapple with the past.
Have you read the Star City Game Style Guide? We ban semicolons.
Well, I wrote it. I wrote it. I'm the one who wrote it.
Semicolons are banned.
Yeah, they're not allowed. If you use them, I will send you your article back, highlight them all in red, and make you delete them. Grim Flayer back in the hand there from the grapple with the past.
This is not the type of fast start that Schnake needs in the matchup. Still not even with Delirium. In spite of a traverse and a grapple.
Yeah, there's a creature down there. 3 for 4, 75% of the way there. The thing is about this Aetherworks deck, I think the big question is, okay, if I don't draw Aetherworks, does my deck function? Do I have enough ways to actually find Aetherworks?
Well, the deck has a healthy amount of removal, and it has a lot of scrying and selection in deck thinning. And also, once you draw the Marvel, you just go that turn.
Yes, definitely
And,
true.
and if your deck's been doing its thing, you can probably go turn after turn for a long time. So even if you break off the first one, I mean, Weiser's on a pace here to easily get to 12 energy by the time he's set up. So even if you miss on the first one, you know, it's not summoning trap. You just go again.
I actually think getting the energy is the easy part.
Right.
I actually don't think that's the hard part at all, now that I'm watching these games play. I mean, he's up to 7. He might be more than that in a minute. Okay, here's Cathartic Reunion. So discard 2 cards, draw 3 cards, pass the turn back. I guess he's got a decent enough ways to find it because he's just got enough card drawing.
I mean, this and the Glass Blower's Puzzle Knot, that's a lot of looks.
Yeah. Dryad attacks. Here's Grim Flayer, excuse me. The clock just isn't very fast for Abe.
And he's also buried here by Kozilek's return, should Weiser have it. He also might simply die if Weiser has the Aetherworks Marvel.
Land number 4 is a Game Trail. Reveal Forest. I've never seen Game Trail enter the battlefield untapped in 2 straight games.
I know.
So that's...
Achievement unlocked.
Yep, that's new. There's 2 mana. Reunion again. Discard 2 cards. One of them is the Glassblower's Puzzle Knot. Peel 3. Draw 3 is that's a lot.
That's a lot of cards to look at.
Yeah.
Especially when your deck has a lot of garbage in it and one big payoff. This card's perfect.
Plenty of rubbish out there. Weiser might go to the Puzzle Knot.
And it wouldn't surprise me if Weiser has hard cast Emrakul in a few games.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
His deck does put a lot in the graveyard and a lot of various card types in the graveyard too.
Scry 2. Bottom shelf. Let's go over to Abe. Beatdowns. So I just want you to know what's going on in this game, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Game trail end of the battlefield untapped.
Grim Flare
Grim
connected.
Flare hit.
I know.
We are in, where are we? Twilight?
Cats and dogs living together.
Yeah,
Just
we're in the
crazy,
Twilight Zone.
mixed up world.
I don't know what's happening right now. Joe Bernal did connect with Grim Flare 4 times yesterday. And
Yeah,
lost.
in a losing effort.
Yeah, kind of depressing. Another Grim Flare. Ah, Flare flooded. Pass the turn back. Daniel will draw. I mean, he's got Delirium now. Does Abe. So the clock is actually real now. It's an attack for 11 next turn.
But not lethal.
Not lethal. That's correct.
And no range as far as I know. No, Weiser's looking at a lot of cards. It looks like he has another Cathartic Reunion. He can cast that. He can, assuming that he makes a land drop here, he can go ahead and activate the Glassblower's Puzzle Knot for 2 more scries. But he's got to find the Marvel at some point.
Draw 3 more. Discarded an Aether Hub and an Invasive Surgery. Land is another hub up to 10 energy. This is Vessel. All right, that gives him probably his best shot to find it. It's a lot of cards. Fast turn back. It's a lot. It's a lot of setup. Say go. I also like too that Vessel allows him to not put the card in his hand, expose it to transgress. I think that's pretty nice.
The thing is, though, he also has to win the game after. He has to hit something big immediately and then be able to win the game from there. So it isn't just an issue of finding the Aetherworks Marvel at this point.
Yeah, I think we might be getting to the stage where he has to hit Ulamog.
I mean, Emrakul's still. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Not 1, 2.
I know.
Flare triggers. 2. Because Weiser falls down to 3.
I suppose it depends in some part if there's a Kozilek's Return in the graveyard also.
Very true. Very true. That would definitely change some things.
Yeah. And then Emrakul. Or then either one's got to be good.
Yeah. Dryad. Pass. Break the Vessel. Very quickly. Ulamog. A land. K-Return. Well, K-Return's in the bin now. Take a land. That's step 1. Any marvels to be found? Draw card. Emrakul with the draw step.
Check out the graveyard. See, we got enough going on there. Don't think so.
Asking
a lot.
Gonna be tough. Saw a lot of cards this game. Yep, saw a lot of cards. Just didn't find it. Yeah, and Abe is a little surprised. I would be too. Abe didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah, he cast the creatures in his hand and attack with them. That's all he was able to do.
Yep.
Just a race to see if Weiser was able to find Aetherworks Marvel and fire off and find something big, and couldn't do it. Now we're on game 3.
That's where we're headed. Take a look at the sideboards now. You saw Invasive Surgery come in for Daniel there, I think maybe to protect himself around discard, something like Lost Legacy, who knows what. So I think that's probably going to stay. He's going back to his sideboard a little bit here, I think, to review some things. But beyond that, I don't think a ton changed. I think he wants to, the K return, the Harness Lightning, I think those are pretty good options, but keep most things the same, I think.
Yes, exactly.
I will say I like the inclusion of Takedown. The reason I like the inclusion of that is because it's good against Spell Queller.
This is true.
So Takedown's a single green mana, deals 4 damage to a flyer, or deals 1 damage to all flyers. So this is a nice way if someone Spell Queller is the Marvel, boom, get it right back.
Not a whole lot of 1-mana cards that can interact with Spell Queller.
So I kind of like that inclusion. And then for Abe, Transgress the Mind.
You can tell by Weiser's sideboard, he is concerned about a very select few cards.
For sure.
He's concerned about discard. He's concerned about things that could blow up artifacts. He's concerned about Spell Queller, which is, a counter spell, essentially. And his sideboard is all about answering that kind of stuff.
Well, I know some people are going to be interested in this deck now, too, especially if Daniel's able to win this match. And a place that you can play Team Aetherworks or Green Black Delirium or whatever you like in Standard is the Regional Championships 2 weeks from now. And you can learn more about that tournament and where you can play right now.
Don't miss the StarCityGames.com Season 3 Regional Championships. On October 15th, play Standard at any of the 15 regionals across the U.S. The first 200 players to register for each event will receive a Wings of Glass playmat and token just for signing up. Regional championships are now part of the SCG Tour with SCG points for all players. Top 8 competitors earn a trophy, a share of $5,000, and a spot in an upcoming SCG Invitational. Visit go.starcitygames.com/regionals to learn more.
Plant your flag October 15th. Go.starcitygames.regionals. Go.starcitygames.com/regionals. Excuse me, that's only your thing.
Yep.
I muffed it.
It's okay.
I'll leave it to you next time.
Go.starcitygames.com/regionals.
So good at it.
Find the regional championship closest to you October 15th.
So good at it, I must say. Game number 3 underway. See, that many cards and not find the Marvel. That's why I don't play one-card combo decks. We've had this conversation.
Didn't you play Belcher for a very long time?
It's different.
I think it's the same.
It's different.
Pretty sure it's exactly.
First of all, it also had Empty the Warrens and Burning Wish.
Yep.
You had 11 cards. 4, 5, 6. You had 11 cards to go off of.
7 of which were regularly not good enough.
Empty the Warrens was the good one. Belcher was the bad one. Belcher, they always just take. They can handle the Belcher. You can needle that or something. Like, that's not that hard to beat. But like a deck like Tooth and Nail or Scape Shift, I never draw it. Ever, which is a completely irrational thing to say, I know.
Yeah.
But it's just true.
That's a completely irrational thing to say, period, should be the end of that line of thought. There shouldn't be another thing.
But it's just true, I never draw it. And people out there know what I mean. Glass Blowers, Puzzle Knots, Scry 2. What?
I just didn't know if we were taking turns doing commentator voice.
Oh, okay.
.com.
Yeah. You have commentator's voice. I don't. I don't like to infringe on your territory. That's all you, man.
Okay.
Reflector Mage and all that.
That's not a commentator thing.
That's just a thing.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Got it.
That's just one of many weird things that I do. That's different. That's a very different thing.
Spire Bluff Canal. Mana's online for the Teamer deck. Just pass the turn back for now. Sylvan Advocate. Gnarlwood Dryad. That's where Abe Schnake has started. It's not the fastest of clocks, but it counts as one.
It's the best that his deck can really do.
Here's an attack for 3, down to 16.
We can tell he's really just at the mercy of Weiser's draw.
Pretty
He
much.
has so little interaction.
There's another Advocate. Hissing Quagmire, pass the turn back. Weiser will sacrifice the Puzzle Knot up to 4 energy. Scry 2. Bottom shelf both. What's also interesting about this deck, too, is you want to put the large creatures on the bottom, but you kind of don't.
Right.
You know, with the scrying.
But, well, the problem is that you can leave it 2 from the top in the scenarios where you're about to cast that Aetherworks Marvel using 1 turn. Otherwise, you don't want to be drawing Evercool Nullmog, so it just has to go to the bottom, even though it's a little painful because you do need to hit right away in a lot of spots.
This has actually been a pretty good story of this deck, I think. In Game 1, easy mode. Just
Do this thing.
easy mode. Game 2, couldn't find it. Game 3, well, we're going to find out. Cathartic Reunion, discard 2, one of which is Ulamog.
Pretty good sign there if Weiser is discarding another copy of Cathartic Reunion.
Reunion, yep.
It implies that his hand's already set up.
It's a reunion between Pia and Chandra Patrick. Okay, it's a storyline arc.
It's a really weird.
Okay.
It's a really weird. The art and the name and the design and all of this is really weird. Alongside the other smaller version of this being called Tormented Voice. I don't know what the flavor is.
It's true. It's true. Grapple with the pass is what Abe Schnake is going to do now. Time to return a swamp. Beatdowns with authority.
Yeah, with authority.
You,
So discard.
Go ahead.
Discarding then drawing cards is either the voices of insanity overwhelming you, or a lovely reunion between a parent and child.
Correct. One of the two.
It's an either-or sort of thing.
Crack the Vessel. I don't see a Aetherworks Marvel there. Harness Lightning. Attune with Ether. Spirebluff Canal. Botanical Sanctum is what Weiser will take. He'll untap. He'll draw. Can he find his artifact?
And he needs another energy.
Uh-huh. Drew an Ulamog.
Ulamog.
Yeah. That's a draw step one can take. Vessel. Use an energy to do it. 1 and a 2 and a 3.
There we go.
And a 4. Kozak's return to the graveyard. I think that's the place you want it to be. My concerns now is he going to have enough energy to actually get to the Marvel?
Well, it does appear as though he's got Attune with Aether.
Okay, then the answer is yes. Yep, to take that. Yeah. I'd take that too. Yes.
Oh, you didn't take the Emrakul.
Yeah, I'd take that one too.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised.
Kozak's return to the graveyard, Marvel in hand. Really hoping not to get hit by Transgress.
Yep.
Forest. All right.
So he needs to fade Transgress, and then he needs to hit almost anything. Either of his big creatures should be fine.
They'll
here.
sweep everything away with their
Yep.
Kozak's return. Yep. There's a Forest. 6 energy. Schnake will untap. He's not doing anything too special over here. He's just playing a little magic, casting some creatures, attacking with them. Nothing besides that. It's working so far. Hand doesn't do much.
Just some creatures.
Yep.
And if Weiser does his thing, they're all dead anyway.
Yep. Can fire up the Hissing Quagmire, bring him pretty low. Doesn't have Delirium.
Yep. This is what you can do. This
Yep.
is what your cards permit you to do.
Yep. Take 9. Yeah, and you even see Weiser just shrugging his shoulders. Yeah, I'm at 2. I hope I hit. That's all I can hope for.
Remember, Weiser is still not out of the woods here. He's dead next turn, and he has to hit on the first activation.
Yep. This is where we are. Land. Another Quagmire. Kick it back. Weiser will untap. Nick Miller wants to know what's going on. He walks over here. The draw looks to be a hub.
Weiser surveying his options, of which he has exactly 1.
Just want to make sure. Yep, shoulder shrug. Here we go.
Oh, hold up.
Marvel.
Here we go. Fingers crossed.
1. I think he hit on the. Now it's a Kozak's return.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. I don't think so. Nope, I don't think so.
I don't think that's
now,
it.
Now I know so. Nope, that's going to do it. Abe Schnake is going to win this match over Daniel Weiser. 2-1. Green-Black Delirium able to fade the Aetherworks of Marvel. And for Daniel Weiser, top 8 dreams are done.
Pretty painful there. Game number 2 looked at a million cards, and game number 3 was able to set it up in time, but bricked off the first activation, didn't have the breathing space for the second one. Schnake with one of the more aggressive draws that his deck can cobble together, went 1-2 and kind of curved out the whole game.